On today's episode of the Toy Chasers.
You just caught me after molesting a dog.
So we're at the Retro Expo. Our buddy Scott has been putting these on for years, and of course that means that we're gonna show up. I peed my pants. So Rob's the first to get here, I'm second, and then all of a sudden, things get weird.
We're waiting for Jay because, you know, Jay's late. And we're kind of out of the way, kind of by the doors, right? When all of a sudden, Lance Henriksen walks up. And Lance Henriksen, you know, Bishop from Aliens. And it's like, whoa, wow. And he's got a cigarette in his hand, and he just stops and feels the need to tell us that he's just finished molesting a dog. Lance Henriksen, freaking Bishop, just walked past us and said, "You just caught me after molesting a dog." What the? And I'm like, what are you talking about?
So when you guys were waiting on me, Bishop from freaking Aliens came up to you guys and talked about the time he molested a dog.
Apparently that's the term for petting a dog in the UK. You need some different words there. Molesting a dog means a very different thing here.
That don't even make sense to me. That makes no sense.
I don't even know what to say right now. I'm freaking Bishop.
Technically, most of us have a dog.
Looking for a 1978 Incredible Hulk. I need the shorts.
Shorts?
The
Figure?
shorts, yeah.
You need the shorts for the figure.
Yeah. Which, you know, I'll just probably have to buy the whole thing if I find it, but.
So right now you have a shortsless Hulk.
Yeah.
Okay. I said, are you expecting someone to eat your ass right now? That's why you need it.
Always got to be prepared, man. Just saying.
At a con, though? No.
So we're always gonna go to these types of events. There's always really cool things to look at, and if you get lucky, you might find a decent deal on something that you've been looking for.
Is Billy and Jay gonna get something good? I kind of doubt it because they got bad judgment. They, maybe I'll come back later, and then it's gone. It happens constantly with these two chuckleheads. So will they find some good finds? I doubt it, just because that's who they are.
Who's gonna be there when it really counts? To that Care Bears countdown and send a wish out through the air. And send a wish out through the air. Just do that Care Bears countdown. Just when you need them, they'll be there. Just when you need them, they'll be there.
So outside of Garbage Pail Kids, these were the first movie cards I actually got into. Like I remember I was just obsessed with these things. Getting them on the ice cream truck.
$10 on an Insecticon, it's not terrible.
Oh, look! What is it? It's the Insecticons, an evil new menace from the world of the Transformers.
Now I come across a G1 Transformer called Kickback. This was one of the 3 Insecticons that came out back in the day.
I have 0 Insecticons. This is $10.
This guy's in great condition, and I don't really see any overt things missing from it.
Good shape, too.
Yeah, I mean everything's like all the joints and stuff are really super tight. I think I might go ahead and get this. Make Melvor jealous. Like he's got both of his antennas. Like sometimes these will break off.
Billy found a pretty good condition Kickback Insecticon. Good for him. You know, it's not like I don't have 8 of them.
I feel like this is in pretty good shape. I'm gonna go ahead and get this. Why not?
I think I'm gonna take it home with me. Especially since it's one that I don't have. I definitely need it. Because who doesn't need an Insecticon? We all need Insecticons. Insecticons, you need your Insecticons.
I'm gonna get this guy.
Okay. Billy got a pretty decent condition one here, and I'm glad for him, honestly. It's not that big a deal. I like worn toys that have a history to them.
Why are you trying to disguise yourselves as a bug? I don't think that's gonna work. I think if somebody saw a giant bug-like robot walking around, they're probably not gonna mistake that for an actual bug. Robots in disguise kind of loses its meaning when you're transforming into bugs. So I don't get that. Well, there were the Dinobots. That doesn't make sense.
So he can have that lifeless Insecticon that's in really good condition. I don't mind. I don't care. It's not a big deal to me.
It's almost like the McNuggets, how they dress up for like Halloween and stuff like that. It's almost sort of like that, except the Nuggets are alive, I guess.
Hey, Transformers, robots in disguise, but we're going to transform into an extinct species. I don't know transforming yourself into a giant dinosaur walking around is the best disguise, but they were cool. And so are Insecticons, I suppose. There seems like there's more games at this particular Retro Expo than there usually is. Games! Whenever I come across a really cheap, old school PC game, I go crazy because I grew up on the Atari ST, so those things hold a lot of nostalgia for me. I'm always going to pick it up if it's cheap. And I'm looking right here at this game called Enterprise, and it's only $5.
I don't know what this is, but it's $5 and I'm getting it. It's $5. You got $5? Does anyone got $5 cash?
I didn't even realize it at first, but this thing is actually for the Atari ST.
This is called Enterprise. I don't know what it is, but it's $5.
Usually when you come across Atari ST games, they're asking a lot for them. I'm ecstatic right now, not expecting to walk into this convention and get an Atari ST game for $5, but I'm happy I did.
Was there a tomato and a hamburger? And I don't even remember. It's pretty toy heavy, pretty toy lopsided actually. And we have come across a vendor with a lot of Transformers. So I've come across this hot rod, and I'm having a hard time finding the date, so I don't know if it's vintage or not.
I know with like reissue Star Wars vehicles, it has the original date because they're using the original molds.
The thing is, you've got companies like Takara doing really, really good reproductions.
17.
Is that 17? Yeah. Well, at least they do good enough.
At least there's that.
You know, in some toy lines, they just use the exact same mold, so the date will still be on there, even if it was done 20 years later. You just got to look a little bit harder, do your due diligence. Sometimes you can tell by the weight and whatnot.
Most vendors and most toy sellers, I would say, would be up front and say, hey, yes, this is a reissue. It looks exactly the same as an old school one, but this is a reissue. However, some won't. So you always have to know what to look for and make sure that the toy you're buying is vintage if that's what you want, a vintage toy. All right, so something else cool that I really am on the lookout for is one of these miniature Vehicle Force Voltron figures. Now we have the full-scale Vehicle Voltron, which I always thought was cooler than the Lion version of Voltron. Well, they also had a little mini version of that.
What are you guys on this?
60.
60?
This thing goes for $60 apparently now, and this one's even missing stuff. I just don't think that I want to spend $60 on a toy because, well, I'm an adult with bills, believe it or not.
Unite! Form feet and legs. Form arms and torso. And I'll form the head.
Sewer sharks.
There we go. I always find this in pieces, never the whole thing.
Sucker was too late, just got a free shirt. F Billy.
So not a lot of stuff here today for us, but we are having a blast just seeing all the cool stuff that's here, things that you just don't see very often, or things that you even forgot existed, or things that remind you that you're extremely old and what just seemed like a thing is now considered old and nostalgic.
What's up, man? What up? All your stuff? Yeah.
Like VHS standees.
This was during the VHS run, so this is like early 90s, I believe.
These VHS standees, or even DVD standees, things that promoted physical media, or just a product of a specific time in human history, right? They're never going to make a comeback.
So, gotcha.
Yeah, isn't that fun? So we got the Wolfman and this VHS, and we actually have the VHS.
Well, what do you ask on this?
They're 150 each.
150 each? Okay.
Like, it was really cool to go in somewhere and you know, pre-internet, it was like, oh, Die Hard's coming out on VHS in 2 weeks. And that's how they promoted stuff like that.
They're hard to ship, and you don't want to ship them because you don't want to damage them. So that's why we're asking what we're asking.
When I first started working at Blockbuster, we'd get the standees and stuff like that all the time, and it was actually really cool because, you know, when we were finished, we got to take them home. But for some reason, at some point, they just stopped doing that.
Yeah, for whatever reason, we at our store, this came out in '99, right? The standee. We never saw these at our store, and I don't know if it's because ours was an older store or maybe it was something in the design, but yeah, we never saw these.
It's not like, you know, I'm a huge fan of the creature from the Black Lagoon, but this would definitely be cool to have in your house. Would it be something that I'd want to collect? I mean, yeah, if I had a place to put it. I have no place to put things now.
In this digital age, something cool like that is lost.
It's a blast from the past even seeing something like this.
These things are pretty big. They're made to get your attention when you walk into the store. And I remember at Retropalooza a couple years ago, I actually came across one that was Gremlins 2.
Yeah, I didn't know this. So this right here is, you want to come and look at it? Help me out. So I don't have to put this stuff on the ground. It's a standee for Gremlins 2. Unpunched, unused. So you put this thing together. It would be in front of, you know, I guess promotional for movies. I would assume the movie. Sometimes they did this kind of stuff with, like, you know, when the VHSs and stuff came out.
I'm a huge Gremlins fan, and I would absolutely have loved to have this thing.
Best video? Yeah.
So it's probably a promotional standee for a VHS. I would do $100. If you did $100, I have $100. I have $100 for me right now. 200.
But I just didn't have the money at the time. I probably dropped the ball on that. I should have gotten the Gremlins 2 standee. Stupid.
Oh, maybe I'll come back later, and then it's gone. It happens constantly with these two chuckleheads. That's who they are.
Yeah. Did you buy that?
Yes.
You don't want the case, do you?
Yes, I want the case.
Not what I heard.
So Steve from Retro Madness has an Odyssey case. One of my things I like to collect for is carrying cases.
Magnavox presents Odyssey, the electronic game of the future. Odyssey easily attaches to any brand TV, black and white or color, to create a closed-circuit electronic playground. Odyssey gives you all the exciting action of hockey and 11 other challenging play and learn.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Where was it? Don't matter. You bought it. Don't matter.
Hey, can I have it?
No. Yeah.
A lot of times stuff like this, I have an Atari one, and that would have come from like the Atari fan club. Or that would have been some kind of like mail-in or mail-away something or other. The case is really cool, and I want it.
I just want the case. The overlays.
Oh, the overlays!
I mean, okay, hey, man, the overlays are so awesome. How about giving me the case?
No!
So I'm trying to get Steve to separate this thing, and kind of being difficult, Steven.
I like Steve's laugh. He's just like...
What about a Tawaka and a Turtles 4?
I don't drink! You're the wrong guy! Sorry.
What
A
about?
bottle of Tawaka would go a long way with somebody else.
Hey, I've got dibs on it anyways. You just said that. It's the worst video game system of all time.
I don't care!
It's the case.
I don't have it! I mean, I do now.
So Chris' face is like...
Like, what is this?
Okay, so if I have this straight, you don't want to part with that. Totes. I mean, I'm just trying to help you out.
He don't. He just got it. But he did say if he decides to get rid of it, then he's going to call me
Jay would be our first call. I mean, somebody did hook me up with an Atari carrying case. That did happen.
That did happen.
That did happen.
Also, customer's revenge.
You're not wrong.
I'm not one to keep score.
yeah, no, Steve doesn't want to separate this thing out, which is unfortunate for me because it's just going to be way out of what I'm willing to pay. And it sucks because I don't have this one, so.
Had a great time here at Retro Expo. Love coming to these events. Can't get enough of it.
A lot of cool stuff here. Unfortunately, there was really nothing for me. That's just the way it goes sometimes.
If you would have told me, when I was, 12 years old or however old I was when I saw Aliens the first time, that, hey, you're going to meet that guy and he's going to come up and say that he molested a dog, definitely would have said you were crazy.
Why didn't I come to Retro Expo? I don't remember why I didn't come to Retro. Oh, I mean, other than not having any money.
It was worth it alone to get a once-in-a-lifetime Lance Hendrickson story. I don't think there's anybody on the planet right now that has had the opportunity for Lance Hendrickson to walk up to you and randomly tell you about the time he molested a dog, which apparently had happened several moments before he told us about it. So yeah, I think that's really cool. The story, not the actual